without further ado, man, so much to discuss.
Indeed, man. What's on your mind?
Man, let's talk about the Lions, man. The Lions had the Monday night game against the Ravens. They were victorious, 38-30. Very, very big win. First time that the Lions have beaten the Ravens since 2005. So it's a 20-year drought there. Lamar Jackson's numbers against the NFC are very well documented. 24-2 as a starter. Obviously, his primetime performances against I believe he was undefeated against the NFC in primetime. At home, he had only lost once, I believe, and that was to Philly last year. So he has been very outstanding against NFC opponents. So very, very big win. I believe it's probably Dan Campbell's. I put out on the social site that it was Dan Campbell's best regular season win in his coaching tenure with the Lions.
Yeah.
In my opinion, even though I know that we had to beat Minnesota to win the division for the last regular season game of last year, but that was at home, and I just think we were a better team than Minnesota last year, even with the injuries. But I'll take your thoughts on the game. Big victory. It was not a game that I had us penciled in to win. It was one of the ones that I had us losing just because of our historic record at Baltimore, and then just their success against NFC opponents in that building. So it's a great win. Shout out to Dan Campbell and the guys for going up there and getting that win and doing it in dominant fashion.
Right.
I mean, we'll talk about all of the aspects of the win, but I'll take your thoughts, man, and then I'll give you a few of mine.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, that was the thing for me, the manner of which the win came. But yeah, I can't think of a bigger regular season win for Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Who again, to me, is showing that he's one of the exceptional, football, and relatively young, football minds in terms of coaching, going forward, as guys like, your Andy Reeds and your Pete Carrolls, who's kind of like in and out of, retirement, semi-retirement.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of the old staples.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of emerging, I think, as another one of those names.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still has to get the big one done.
Yep.
But yep. I think he's further legitimizing and solidifying and justifying him being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And given the task at hand of turning the Lions around.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy how things have changed in 2 weeks where, just me, we went from, oh goodness, are the bad habits, not necessarily bad habits, but the trends and the tendencies carrying over from last year. And this could maybe only get worse, before it gets better, to where now, though we're only like three weeks in, and so, you're getting a little small, sample size. It going back to last year, it puts us, I think, to me, back into a serious contender conversation.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It puts us back into that conversation.
Yep.
Because again, it goes back to me to the manner of which we beat the Ravens. Like that was dominant. That was a will imposing win. Like
it was
like 38-30, but it felt.
Yeah,
it felt like a
and they
14.
They scored a garbage time.
Yeah,
touchdown.
It felt like a 17, 20 point, type of game.
Yeah.
The O-line, I thought they answered the bell because I saw them, they were getting tested early.
Yeah.
They were getting pushed around early.
A little bit. Yep.
But, they stayed the course, and then eventually they started to impose their will.
Mm-hmm.
They started to bully the bully.
Yep.
So that was reassuring to see going forward again.
Absolutely.
Because you want the unit to gain that cohesiveness.
Yep, and that continuity.
Yeah, absolutely. With that said, I got to give props to Johnny Morton. That game, I had some questions But again, who the hell am I? Johnny Moore's the guy getting paid to call the plays. I think the biggest thing to me, and that's just me as a football fan and just my Joe Six-Pack mentality, the handoff after a turnover. I get it. It could be a setup to a bigger play, but to me, the turnover was the setup to the big play.
Right.
That's the thing. That's just me though. You know what I mean? But outside of that, I got to give props to Johnny Morton. Staying with the offense, Jared Goff, period.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about him. I mean, he's highly underrated in my opinion.
And it's getting crazy. Because I mean, like the Jared Goff, the disrespect and like the backdoor prop giving that they give him, it has to stop, bro. Like this is something I saw on, I want to say it might have been like BetMGM or something like that. But like since 2001, this is what Jared Goff has done. Joe Burrow, 16,502 passing yards. Jared Goff, 17,648. Lamar Jackson, 107 passing touchdowns. Jared Goff, 122.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes, 97.1 passer rating. Jared Goff, 101.1.
Yeah.
This has to stop.
Yeah, I'm
like Jared Goff. I get it. Yeah. He can't do everything. I get it when the play breaks down. He gets in trouble. He looks lost. He looks bad. When he has to improvise. I get it. And, the 5 throws a game on average that he misses are ugly misses. But guess what? They're only 5.
Yeah.
you dig me? And you know what? The quarterback, the last one that we seen that can be an accurate thrower and can actually scramble too, that's Aaron Rodgers. Guess what? 20 years, 1 Super Bowl.
Right.
So listen.
Yeah, I mean, no, if you start making a Mount Rushmore of great quarterbacks, most of them are going to be pocket passers.
Exactly.
I mean, let's be real. I understand the fascination with mobile quarterbacks, guys that can run. And, remember when Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson was doing all of that running in the Super Bowl? Yeah, me either. Nobody remembers because they haven't. They can't get past a guy named Patrick Mahomes, who usually saves his running for the postseason.
Thank you.
And he's been doing a lot of running this year, and they won in 2.
Thank you.
I mean, yes, would I like, if I had a magic wand, would I like for Jared Goff to be a little bit more mobile? Yes, of course.
So with Jared Goff.
Yes, absolutely. But that's not the end all be all. Playing quarterback in the NFL is about being able to drop back, make the reads, and make the throws. All of the rest of it is extra.
Yep.
That's bonus. It's not the other way around. It's not being able to run and scramble and improvise. And then if you could drop back and make the throws, that's cool too. No, that's called being Caleb Williams. Yep. That's what Caleb Williams is. Caleb Williams is great at improvising and not that great at dropping back and completing passes. And the Bears ain't going nowhere until he's good at one and he can still be great at the other one, but he's got to be great at dropping back and making passes. And that's what Jared Goff is great at. Jared Goff is great at dropping back, making the reads. That's playing quarterback in the NFL.
Amen.
The rest of that's college football.
Well,
that's why the pocket passer, the better pocket passer is always going to be the better improviser. Always.
Yeah. I'm just tired of it. I just had to put it out there because every time the Lions, hit a little snag, it always comes like the Jared Goff whispers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we need to it's old. Jared Goff is a dude, bro.
And again, full disclosure, I picked Buffalo to overcome Kansas City this year. Mm-hmm. I picked Josh Allen to make the Super Bowl this year, but it ain't happened yet.
Right.
And it ain't, and the formula doesn't work until it works. Again, I'm fully understanding of the fascination with quarterbacks that can move, quarterbacks that can scramble, but the success has been limited when you're talking about winning the ultimate prize. Lamar Jackson is fantastic in the regular season.
Yep.
In the postseason, not so much. He ain't no Jared Goff in the postseason. I'm gonna just be real, and you can start looking at you can start comparing the
Mark
postseason
Andrews notwithstanding last year.
Hey man, listen, I get it. Players drop passes. Josh Reynolds dropped.
Real talk.
Players drop passes all the time.
Not once, but twice.
Yeah, players drop passes all the time. You gonna start doing that? We can do that too.
I'm not.
Yeah, players drop passes all the time. We understand it's not always on the quarterback,
right?
But the point is,
but from 2021, which is basically his tenure here as a Lion.
Yeah, man.
He's amongst the best.
Yeah, 2023 most yards since 2023. The Detroit Lions. Most points in the NFL since 2023. The Detroit Lions. Yeah. Third in point differential. Yeah. I mean, we've said it. The most passing yards since 2023, Jared Goff. Yeah. Most passing touchdowns since 2023, Jared Goff.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy he's done nothing but produce.
And as you look at, the turbulence, whether it be it injury or play or combination of both for the quarterback position around the league.
Yeah.
To have a guy that's, a steady hand right now. Yep. I think that's one thing we need to kind of appreciate as opposed to nitpick.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I'm with you, man. And again, it's just not. It hasn't been a good offense for the past 3 years. It's been the best offense.
Right. Preach.
It's been the best offense in football for the past 3 years, and he's been at the helm.
Yep.
And I get him, people naming him as a fringe top 10 quarterback.
Right.
Like,
nah, bro.
Yeah, if anybody else was at the helm of the very best offense in football for 3 years, they'd be a no-brainer to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. They'd be arguing if his last name was Manning, they'd be arguing tooth and nail for him to be a top 5 quarterback, and you wouldn't be able to say any different.
Yeah.
If it was Justin Herbert, forget about it. If Justin Herbert was the quarterback of the number 1 offense in the NFL for the past 3 years,
he'd have had an MVP by now.
Yeah, stop it. He'd have 2.
Okay.
He'd have 2 and won a couple of playoff games, came within a possession of winning a conference championship game. Stop it. He'd be above Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Let's keep it a buck.
But I digress, man. I didn't mean to step on your analysis.
You did not. That's what we do here. We build off each other. That's why I put it out there because, for real, I just kind of hope, going forward, especially with a performance like that on Monday night.
Yeah.
With the team averaging, 45 points over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And having a performance of mano a mano, so to speak, with Lamar Jackson. Let's just put that discussion to bed.
Yeah.
Just a few more points, and then, I'll let you have at it, my G. Calvin Shepard, man, continues to impress me.
Yeah. I liked it. Listen, I've never seen as good a game plan against Lamar Jackson, particularly keeping him in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't remember the last time I saw Lamar Jackson sacked 7 times or if I ever have.
I don't know the last time I've seen Al-Quadin Muhammad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right. Dude.
I'm just saying, dog. And that man was looking like Derek Brooks out there.
I know, right?
You feel me? So again, shout out. I thought I would spotlight him because for weekly, I would say from the second half of week 1, it's been consistently getting better and improving.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Calvin Shepard. And I'll let you expound and continue on Terry and Arnold because I'm just really leaning on being out on the guy. I'll just leave it as I don't feel he's a 1 or 2 corner in the NFL, at least not on September 24th.
No, not today.
25.
That's
subject to change. I hope it changed for our benefit and his because I never root against guys.
I agree.
But it's rough. It's getting to the point where it's either a penalty or a chunk play.
Yeah, and I think that what is happening is whenever the other team needs a big play, they're going at him. They're finding him and they're singling him out. And again, at this point, I'm more concerned about his confidence as a second-year player than I am about whether or not he's going to be able to make that giant leap that they're looking for him to make. But yeah, I mean, just a couple of other notes from the game. I believe it was 225 yards rushing that we were able to achieve. Now, again, full disclosure, they were without Matabike, who's one of the very best interior defensive linemen in football.
That's real.
And without Kyle Van Noy, who was the best edge rusher from last year. So, I do want to say that, I don't think that colors this victory at all, because Baltimore is still a very difficult place to play and a very difficult place to go in and get a win.
Especially for the Detroit Lions.
Absolutely. And we dominated up front. And, if I can find a complaint, which is very hard to find one after a performance like that, which was a very good performance, but it does show that the offensive line just needed more time on task. Before the first game, I believe if they would have had 25 snaps together, the week one might have looked a lot different.
I agree.
Because you saw Penei Sewell and Tate Ratledge coming off the ball, getting that double team and driving guys off the football, and us getting some chunk runs in behind that. Whereas they weren't marrying up like that in game one. They just looked all out of sync. It looked like every man for himself. So
in week two, we were better on the edge.
Correct.
Right? And
now
it's kind of coming together.
And now, you're starting to see it come together. Yeah, they need reps together as a unit. But that's a conversation for another day.
Or off season.
Yeah. So, but at this point, the offensive line looks to be coming together extremely well. The running game is progressing. I don't think it's not everything we need it to be at this point. We still see some areas for improvement.
Yeah, for sure.
Particularly because I think David Montgomery has been the more effective running back to this point in the year. And I heard somebody call in on one of the local radio stations after the game last week against Chicago, saying that he didn't believe that Montgomery was getting the appropriate amount of reps, basically saying that they should be splitting reps. And, obviously after a game where the offense put up 52 points, that's a hard argument to make.
Right.
Because I think in the game against the Bears, I'd have to check it, but I think, one had 11 carries and the other one had 12 carries. I think that is more of an argument after Monday night's game, where Montgomery only had 12 carries and Gibbs had 22.
Yeah.
But Montgomery was far more effective. Like he had way more yards. So I'm like, I'd like to see those numbers either be a little closer or inverse even when Montgomery is going like that. But again, it's hard to complain after a victory where you put up 38 points. But we saw that at some points the offense had lulls and we could have put up another 50 spot.
Right.
Because I thought after some stops, some of the play calling was a little conservative and we didn't even, make a lot of headway. We had some dead spots in the game where we didn't even score a lot of points. We probably left a couple of scores on the table.
Do you think they well, I'm sure they probably do. I mean, they come up with the little stat quote game plan, and then they just kind of feel it.
Yeah.
Feel it through.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of shifts as the game goes on, where it's just like, and to their credit, be it Montgomery and Gibbs, where it's just kind of like, Dave is taking 3-4 guys with him.
Yeah.
Every time he's touching it tonight.
And also,
whereas, they spent the last, 4 weeks gaming for you, Jameer.
Yeah. And I think that also, the expectation is that Gibbs will get more snaps because he is more versatile. Even though David Montgomery does a good job catching the ball. I think he's good in pass coverage. Yeah. He does a good job picking up blocks. He can catch the ball.
Everything.
Yeah, they both really do everything well.
He does everything Gibbs just does it fresher.
Yeah, I was gonna
faster.
say, Gibbs is a little bit faster. He's more of
he
our
doesn't
lightning.
get walked down. Gibbs,
right?
Gibbs doesn't get walked down.
No, correct. Yes, that's the thing. Yeah, like he's definitely a lot faster, a lot more explosive. While I love the change of pace though.
Yeah, who complains on 72-yard carries?
Correct. Yeah,
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I love the change of pace.
Right.
That they give you though, because one of them is a lot more explosive, and he gives you something else to look at.
No, I agree with you.
While Montgomery is a lot more of a battering ram.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Montgomery is having a better rushing season thus far,
right,
but I think that's an awesome problem to have.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And I think that the reason that Gibbs had more is they're trying to get him going more, because I think they do feel like, Montgomery has kind of found his stride a little bit, and they want to get Gibbs where he is, because, that obviously makes the offense that much more explosive. Yeah. So, and then the last thing before we transition into some other NFL topics is I will deal with Tyrion Arnold, because I do think that we need to bring him into the slot. I won't belabor this, because, I don't want to make it so Tyrion Arnold centric when we're talking about the defense, but really it does feel like the rest of the defense is coming together quite a bit and quite well. And if we just get a couple of things figured out in the back end, we could actually have a very dominant defense.
Right.
But, and on the other hand, I mean, it's likely that we're going to give up some passing yards, because when healthy over the past couple of years, we've been very good against the run. So teams are not going to be able to run the ball on us with great consistency. I mean, we pretty much stack up the run very, very well. So they're going to be forced to throw the ball, and then when they throw the ball, they're going to be probably looking for him, which is why, I feel like you could probably scheme him up with the best safety duo in football, put him in the middle of the field.
He's a good athlete. He just doesn't have the blazing speed.
That's my point. Right. I'm like, I think really
he needs to play free.
To a certain extent, I feel like all of our corners are playing a little bit too much press man. I think all of them could probably stand to give a little bit more cushion. I'm saying.
He needs to play free.
Yeah, I think I think all of them could stand to give a little bit more cushion, and maybe be a little bit more ball hawking. Maybe just give a little bit more room, keep their eyes on the quarterback a little bit more, because they getting lost, on some of these. And I've seen that, to a lesser extent with Reed and Robertson too. I'm like, everybody could probably stand to give a little bit more room. It's probably too much press man for everybody. But again, it's hard to complain, man, after a game where we had 7 sacks. I mean, the coverage was good enough to generate 7 sacks. So again, it's hard to complain, but we always gonna critique. We always want to see our guys get a little bit better. But shout out to the Lions. Yeah, shout out to the Lions, man. That was a great win.
Big win, huge win.
Excellent game plan.
Bring on Cleveland.
Yeah, listen.
That's gonna be a tough one.
Cleveland's defense is
nasty,
be an
ugly
man.
One, I think.
And they, and shout out to Cleveland for giving Green Bay a slice of that humble pie, man.
Good looking out, Cleveland.
Yeah, go on and give Green Bay a slice of that humble pie, because we definitely gonna have a hot piece waiting for them on Thanksgiving. We got that game circle. Oh yeah, we owe them. Yeah, we owe a few teams, man. The Commanders, we'll see y'all on November the 9th. We got a hot slice of humble pie for a lot of people. The revenge tour is in full effect.
Yeah, but that Cleveland defense is a top tier upper.
It's the real thing.
Defense. Yeah,
it's the real thing.
Speaking of the run game,
yeah, absolutely.
That's gonna be a battle up front. See if we can get some.
It's probably gonna be tough sledding all day up there, man. Because shout out to you, man, for your call on Mason Graham being the defensive rookie of the year. Mason Graham is having a very, very fine start to his rookie campaign.
Garrett and,
But he's balling, man.
Yeah.
And they not giving up a whole lot on the ground. It's very tough sledding inside trying to run inside for Cleveland.
Their job is to give Joe Flacco as little of the field as possible. So,
Right, yeah, I know.
They got to.
But
they
man,
have to.
I'm like, what's funny is about the Cleveland offense, since you brought that up, and I don't want to go too far down the Cleveland rabbit hole, but since we previewing the game,
matchup, right?
If they could give 14 to 17 points to that defense, they could win 11 games.
You're gonna be hard pressed to get 20 points against that defense, dog. Real talk.
If they could provide 14 to 17 points, to that defense, establish a running game. Man,
Sunday, it's not gonna be no cakewalk down at Ford Field, man.
I'm glad we got them at home. I think that's gonna help us some. But yeah, man, Cleveland is gonna be tough. I was just saying that. I'm like, man, Cleveland's defense is the real thing. They opportunistic, man. They got good, their secondary is playing very well.
Our hope is that, to me, that they'll be on the field a lot and eventually get tired because our defense will force turnovers from Joe Flacco and 3 and out. So
that's the thing.
That's the hope to me.
Yeah, and he'll be standing still in the pocket. No Lamar Jackson game plan. And the last thing I'll mention is that Hutch, man. Hutch is really starting to look like himself. Is bad news for everybody.
More and more.
Yeah. When we saw him beat Ronnie Stanley on the inside move, we talked about that. Him starting to trust that leg. Him starting to make that inside move. Now, not everything is just straight bull rush to the outside.
2 and 3 bodies.
Yeah, it's he's starting to look like slowly starting to look like himself more and more, which is an excellent thing for the defense because that's going to create a lot more room for guys like Muhammad. Where now they'll just have one guy to beat on the other side. Right. So, man, let's transition. Let's talk about